should second guess this team for not investing more because they are legit. And I hate to kind of do the I told you so. This is really what I want to say. It's like I've been saying this. I said it this year. I said it previous years too. If you're in it, you're in it. You should always be investing if you're a big market team like the Red Sox. And there was nothing precluding this Red Sox team, especially from catching lightning in a bottle and getting hot and going on a run and becoming a factor. You should have been able to allow for that possibility even when they were losing all these one-run games or they were, below the line, below the playoff line, below 500. It's just the nature of Major League Baseball nowadays is you get hot in the second half, you make the tournament, and then you have a chance to make the World Series as anybody else. It's sort of the way it works.
Take your chances.
Why couldn't that have been you? You had enough here that you could do what some of these teams had done in the past, whether it was the Diamondbacks or the Braves or the Phillies or these teams that just get into the playoffs and the next thing you know, they're in the World Series. It happens routinely in baseball.
Arizona's a good comp. What happened with Arizona a couple of years ago?
I'm sorry, I know I beat it to death, but this ties in with my thing with the Patriots. Like, they suck. They're not going to go anywhere. Yeah, you actually don't know that. And just giving up on seasons because you don't think they're going to be good is freaking stupid. And I hate it. I hate it when teams do it. Unless it's so obvious that you're the worst of the worst and Connor McDavid is in the lottery, then fine. You can go ahead and do it. But short of that, you're not going to suck with Drake May. Win all the games you can and, believe you have a chance because you do. And if you're the Red Sox and you're hovering around 500, but you got some young players coming up and you're sort of in the mix, nothing precludes you from getting hot in the second half and going on a run. And the next thing you know, you're on a deep run. And so you should invest in that team. And I just feel justified in feeling that way. I felt this way about this Red Sox team, and I'm right. And I feel this way about the Patriots. I'm going to be right about that too. Just the give up factor to me is just to know, why do you all watch sports? Oh, they suck. They're not going to do anything. It's like, well, why do you bother? Do you like watching the games or not? Maybe you don't. But it's like, God.
I think it's also a spoil factor. That there were so many championships won that all of a sudden it became all or nothing. So I think people completely lost sight of, what it takes to get there and what it's typically like to win. And that means you got to build toward it. It doesn't just happen at the snap of a finger.
And what's even worse, the Red Sox felt that way. What was the reporting? What cut did we have, or we read it, where they said internally John Henry looks at the World Series odds?
Oh, yeah.
Cotillo,
it was from Chris Cotillo on his podcast.
Yeah, it was that Fenway Rundown podcast.
It's not the Fangraphs playoff odds, which they've never been that bad. It's, no, what are the World Series odds? And if the World Series odds or projection isn't high, then we're not going to invest, which I can't tell you how much I hate. So making the World Series, making an LCS is not worth it? Oh, shame on you. Like, if you really feel that way, then why are we watching this? Like, why would you ask your fans to invest? Like, going to the League Championship Series is cool. It's fun. It makes everything worth it. And it's why you play the games and we watch, is to have a chance to go to the World Series or a chance to play for a championship. And you've come up just short at that level. You're going to sit there and say, well, that's our ceiling, so we're not going to invest in the team. God, I hate that.
You should hate it. Again, and I would say it's even worse when you have a team that has young guys that you've been planning around and building with, and you think they have the chance to be something good. So then they get here, and what? You don't want to get them to the playoffs? You don't want to do that?
God.
So there's two things. One, they benefit from the experience in those games. Secondly, they get better as they go. There is no way to know how young guys are going to react when you bring them to the big leagues or any league. So the point being is Roman Anthony is a great example, okay? Because Ceddanne Raphael has taken 2 or 3 years to get to where he is now. Roman Anthony was good when he got here. So there's no way for you to know that. Bring him up and see what happens.
So they could have played the beginning of the year differently with Roman Anthony here and Christian Campbell in the minors, which is where it should have started. Maybe you get off to a different start. Maybe the division looks differently if you started with Anthony on the team.
Sure.
Maybe the division looks differently if you did more at the deadline. Although, again, everything you didn't do is still turning out well for you. I mean, if you're winning games with Jordan Hicks and Steven Matz, then for Pete's sake, all I'm saying is just that defeatist attitude is like, why do you bother?
They don't even want to play it out.
God.
And I'm talking about fans. They don't even want to play it out.
And what's even more bothersome is I just feel the Red Sox got sucked into that too. Because let me tell you right now, the Red Sox, it's the spine of that team has become the 1, 2, 3 in the rotation and the 8th and 9th inning. It's the spine of the team. Your top 3 starters have been as good as anyone in baseball, and your back 2 in the bullpen have been better than anyone in baseball. I can't imagine anyone has a current track record like Chapman, 41 straight batters without allowing a hit.
Correct.
So that's a perfect game and a half. That's like a no-hitter and a half.
Yeah, basically he's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
41 straight without allowing a hit. When Whitlock and Chapman pitch in the same game, their last 25 appearances spanning over 3 months, they've allowed a grand total of 1 earned run, 1, in those games. You've won all of them except those that went to extras, and then you lost in extras after they were done. But you never lost it in their innings. And like that plays in the postseason. You have a chance to go to the World Series.
Chapman's ERA in his last 34 games is 0.29.
You have a chance to go to the World Series, and you always did. That's what bothers me, is that in June you did. You had a chance. I told you did. And they're not going to go anywhere anyway. You think they're going to do anything?
Well, they were looking like trash for a while.
So? Sorry, Murray, I don't mean to yell at you. I'm yelling at everybody.
You do, because I'm one of these people. Because if you look like trash like they did for a good chunk of the season, like, what the hell? I'm supposed to believe?
Things turn.
If you have talent, it turns.
The Washington Nationals, the year they won it, were under 500 in June or something. What was this?
They were under 500 in June, like middle of June. Yep, that's right. You got it right.
Utter trash. And I think it was the year after they traded or got rid of Harper.
Mike,
they let their best player go. They're under 500 3 months into the next year, and the next thing you know, here they are, and it's like it happens.
Yeah, particularly if your talent is underperforming, which is what was going on with the Red Sox for part of the time. They had their heads up their ass. But the Arizona thing you mentioned is a good one because that team had young talent. Okay, and they were under 500 with a month and a half to
That's
go.
Arizona. I said Washington, but Arizona applies to. No, I mentioned Arizona before when they went to the World Series.
You did. Arizona, in its final 46 games that year, Arizona went 27-19. Okay, they finished 84-78. So they had a losing record in the middle of August, but it was a bad league, and they had young players, and all of a sudden they played well in the final 6 weeks. They got in, and they went to the World Series. Now, they didn't win it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go for it. Like the idea that you just give up because of what? Because you have to put in the effort or you got to try? Like, I don't get that. The whole point is play it out. Would you give up a baseball game after the 4th inning if you're down 4 runs?
They're not going to win.
Just play it out. Good God.
And they deserve all the criticism you've given them. And so, like, I'm as frustrated with them as I would be the fan base because I think they had roughly the same mentality, which is this is before we thought we were going to be ready. This is before our real maturation date. We felt this was a contending, team and organization, these young players coming. This is not our time, so we're going to hold back. Do just say shame on you. Sometimes you win before your time. Sometimes you win because it just happens. And so you should be supporting and getting behind it and pushing your team to do everything they can to win. Even if you think, like, I always felt the Red Sox were capable of this and going on this kind of run and becoming a factor. I've felt this for the last 3 years, in fact. And I felt it this year as strongly as any of them. But I didn't I think Lucas Giolito is just a guy. I think he's a jag. I never thought he would look like this.
Me neither.
Ever. And so, like, you think just because you don't think they can do anything, they shouldn't do anything? Like, what if you're wrong? As you often are.
Nobody ever thinks of it that way.
As I often are. As just the way it goes, you're just wrong. You think a guy sucks or they're never going to do anything, and the next thing you know, they do it. Just because you think they're not going to do anything, meaning winning at the end of the year, is no excuse. Like, you should hope that you're wrong. And on Giolito, we've all been wrong. Bayo, I always held out.
Bayo's different.
Bayo, I've always said he has ceiling.
Yeah, Mike, a lot of that comes back to the talent. So, at least for me, okay? So, you look at it and you say, Bayo's got the ability to be better than he is. Like, sooner or later, that should turn. So, he's an easy guy to believe in. And you can even say that about Anthony and certainly about Crochet. Like, even Chapman. Now, Chapman's 37, so I didn't think it was going to happen. But nobody ever said he couldn't throw anymore. We just said he can't throw strikes. Well, now all of a sudden he's going 12 pitches with a guy and striking him out to end the game. So, like, they've got guys with ability. But I will admit, like, and I didn't say to pack it in, but with the way they were striking out and the stupid mistakes they were making, I did not expect them to turn it around as dramatically as they have.
It's different than just – I never ruled them out. Always thought it was possible. I've been feeling it was possible for years because it just happens that way, especially in baseball. It's become one of those sports. And it boggles me, the fans that fall into it, and I think that the fact that the team approach it that way too is frankly shameful. And if they invested more in this team or managed it differently to begin the year, like this was a contending year, they might be in a different spot right now, maybe an even better spot. But they're in a good spot as it is. So
they're good enough to win the league.
No question they are.